Welcome back, everybody. My name is James Irvin. You are listening to A Younger View in Sports. Today, I'm going to be giving you my top 10 NFL teams heading into Week 2. So let's kick things off with the New England Patriots and Cam Newton. I think Cam Newton is playing his best football he's ever played since his 2015 MVP season. I think Bill Belichick's coaching has helped elevate him. They came into Seattle and shocked a lot of people. Beating them, almost won the game if that goal line stand could have made it. But it didn't. It didn't. So I think with that, but I think they can be a competitive team. I don't think they're there yet. I think they need another good wide receiver, but Seattle lost a lot of secondary guys, and New England really took over that. And you can't stop Cam Newton. Cam Newton is a man on a mission. He is determined to prove himself, and I think Bill Belichick is learning to prove himself too without Tom Brady, and I think they're number 10 team in the NFL right now. They've been playing some good football, and yeah, I think they can beat a lot of teams. Number 9 is the Tennessee Titans. Sloppy week one, but we can expect that. It's week 1. But Ryan Tannehill on Sunday, 4 touchdown passes, Derrick Henry, 84 rushing yards. That offense looked good. The defense could step it up a little bit, but I think they'll get that with time. They added Jadeveon Clowney, so Jadeveon Clowney's got to get back in that football shape, but I think he'll be a really nice addition for the team. Tannehill looking to improve some more. They're in a weak division. What more can you want from them? I think they're looking to add another deep playoff run. Mike Vrabel is a great coach. So Derrick Henry will keep improving. Season goes on. Defense will keep improving. Ryan Tannehill looks to get better. Next up is the New Orleans Saints. Yep. They didn't have a sloppy week 1. They won week 1 against Tampa Bay. And they looked good. They had a sloppy week 2, however, losing to the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas' first ever win in Las Vegas. But, I think Drew Brees without Michael Thomas is about Aaron Rodgers without Devontae Adams. I think that's a good comparison there. Emmanuel Sanders is a good receiver, but he's more of a slot guy. Like, when I was watching the game and you need to go downfield more to try and win the game, they couldn't. They just kept checking it down. And you're not going to win games like that because obviously they're going to play up. And when they were playing prevent defense at work, they drive down the field. But I was very surprised by the Raiders defense to come out there and stop Drew Brees. And they did. But sloppy week 2 for New Orleans. I think they're going to be looking to bounce back. I think they were looking ahead a little bit to Green Bay. Lost focus, but I still think the Saints are a very good football team. But up next is the Las Vegas Raiders coming up. I was very surprised that their defense was able to stop Drew Brees. First win in the new stadium. I think they needed that. They're 2-0. They're coming out and surprising people. They're in a weak division now with Drew Lock getting injured and Courtland Sutton. I think their biggest test right now is how will they play against Kansas City. And we forget, last year they were looking good. They were going to be a playoff team, and then they fell off towards the end of last year, losing a bunch of those games down the stretch. But I think this year they'll be ready for it. I think Derek Carr looks to have improved a little bit because the New Orleans Saints defense is pretty good. And they scored a lot of points. Josh Jacobs is playing his heart out, looking to be worthy of that first-round pick. A lot of people question, why did you take Josh Jacobs? Well, he's proving why. I feel like a lot of teams would rather have Josh Jacobs right now because he is playing out of his mind. But Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders at number 7. Number 6 is the Buffalo Bills. They're another team that puts up lots of points. They also turn the ball over a lot. As Josh Allen said, he's kind of a gunslinger type. He'll throw an interception and then he'll fumble the ball, but he'll just get right back up and go out there and score a couple touchdowns. Josh Allen, my fantasy football quarterback, so he did put up a lot of points. The Bills coaching staff is doing really good. They did really good at picking up Stephon Diggs for Josh Allen to work with, and I feel like that was a smart move, his deep threat was John Brown. Now John Brown can work in with his great speed. And Stephon Diggs is a great receiver. He was tired of Minnesota, and now he's with Buffalo, and Josh Allen has a great number 1 receiver. Smart move. That defense is a bunch of great defensive pieces that can stop anybody. So I think Buffalo is almost a complete football team. Right? If Josh Allen can cut back on the turnovers a little bit, I feel like they'll be good. The future is bright for Buffalo. Up next at number 5 is the Arizona Cardinals. Yes, the Arizona Cardinals. Who, big move. I love their offseason. They got DeAndre Hopkins from Houston in a trade, and they drafted Isaiah Simmons to help out that defense. We'll get to the defense in a minute. But Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins are a perfect fit. Just like Deshaun Watson was a perfect fit with him. Kyler Murray can make moves with his leg. He gives him more time. And then let's just talk about this receiving core for Arizona. DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, and Christian Kirk. Those are his top 3. And then Christian Kirk was a good number 2 to Larry Fitzgerald, who was already. Now he's a number 3. He's a great number 3. DeAndre Hopkins, you almost have to double him. Larry Fitzgerald has more career tackles than he does drops. And then Christian Kirk is, in my opinion, very underrated. He made a great catch on Sunday. So yes, great receiving core, and that defense has really been stepping up. I don't know what it is. Isaiah Simmons, my personal favorite player coming out of the draft. He's been a stud so far. That defense has just been really, really stepping up. That really surprises me. But yes, the Arizona Cardinals are a complete team right now. They're very competitive. Right now, they're a playoff team in the NFL and one of the toughest divisions in football. Up next, number 4, the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL, my Green Bay Packers, as you can tell. I am a Green Bay Packers fan. Yes. In week 1, it was all about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers came out through 4 touchdown passes, has a chip on his shoulder for them drafting Drew Lock by saying he's on decline. Well, let me tell you, this offense is firing on all cylinders. In week 2, Aaron Jones breaking out a bunch of runs, making some beautiful catches. Nobody's really talking about the catches he was making. Everybody's talking about his run. They were impressive, but some of those catches he was making, really, he looked like a number 2 receiver out there. And honestly, I think he can be Aaron Jones, but he is just all-around great player. So you have 2 guys named Aaron making this offense complete. Now, I do think the defense could step up a little bit. They did against Detroit. They really did, holding them to 21 points. In first quarter, it was 14-3, and then let up 1 touchdown throughout the entire game. Even got a pick 6 in there. Number 1 scoring offense. Last year, Aaron Rodgers still trying to learn the system and learn Matt LaFleur's offense. Well, now he's learned it, and he is on fire. This whole team is on fire. Defense can step up a little bit. They could be a very dangerous team. They already are a dangerous team. Number 3, Baltimore Ravens. Yes, Lamar Jackson looks unstoppable. And any of these 3 teams, any of the top 4 teams, really, could be the number 1 team in the NFL. But Baltimore, really, other than these 3 teams, it's really like, how will Lamar Jackson play under clutch? And he will find out next week when he faces the Kansas City Chiefs. But he's coming off an MVP season. He's got good weapons. I think, he could need another good wide receiver. Running back, J.K. Dobbins and Mark Ingram. Those J.K. Dobbins had a great week 1. Didn't contribute much in week 2, but that was Mark Ingram's game to shine. Hollywood Brown is great. And that defense, Errol Thomas is off the team, and nobody's complained about the Ravens secondary, which proves how deep they were in the secondary, because those players are playing great without Earl Thomas. So I think we can attribute that to John Harbaugh's coaching. The defense is playing well. Lamar Jackson, he wants revenge for that Tennessee Titans game last year in the playoffs. He wants revenge, and they look like to be coming for it. But number 2, and I think the toughest test for the Baltimore Ravens up to date, is the Kansas City Chiefs. Also, tough test for Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who looked good in week 1. The offensive line isn't bad. McCole Hardman, who are you going to stop? You double team one guy, you got other 2. You double team another guy, it's like, who are you going to stop? And Patrick Mahomes can run. Looked a little bit sluggish. Looked a little bit slow, to start against Los Angeles, but they won in overtime. 58-yard field goal, so even their kicker has range. What are you going to do? Stop this offense. Kansas City could put up 50 points on you. And this defense, they have weapons. Justin Herbert had weapons on Sunday. He didn't look bad in his first game. By the way, Justin Herbert looked pretty good. But he has a lot of weapons, and I think they stopped him now. But again, rookie quarterback, so you wouldn't expect him to. But only holding them to 20 points with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Hunter Henry, yeah. Big improvement. Got good pass rush, too, with Chris Jones, got his contract. So I think the Chiefs' offense can beat a lot of teams. But number one is the Seattle Seahawks coming in. Yeah. They are the number one team simply because of Russell Wilson. There's a hashtag trending around all about him. Hashtag let Russ cook. They need some pass rush. And again, they lost secondary guys to an ejection and then to injury. So don't judge those teams yet. Don't judge that secondary yet. Cam Newton tore him up though, but that secondary was playing pretty good against Atlanta and those weapons. But yeah, if you're a team with Russell Wilson, he can carry you to 10 wins, 11 wins. He is just reeling this team on. You know, give him some pass rush help his defense out, give him some offensive line. That team could go easily 16-0, but this team can easily go 13-3 with the help of Jamal Adams. Yeah, that team is going to be scary with Russell Wilson. And by the way, Russell Wilson is one of those underrated quarterbacks. He's finally starting to get the love he deserved from the media. Even last year, I was like, I'm not a big Russell Wilson believer. He made me a believer, carrying that team, willing that team on with like 4 running back injuries, having to bring Marshawn Lynch out of retirement just to help him out the running game. He did good. He wheeled that team on. He made me a believer of Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. That's my top 10. Patriots 10, Titans 9, Saints 8, Raiders 7, 6, Buffalo Bills, 5, Cardinals, 4, Green Bay Packers, 3, Baltimore Ravens, 2, Kansas City Chiefs, and 1, the Seattle Seahawks.